So, as you aware, right, we already discussed about SQL and Azure SQL. Some part of, basically, we have created some SQL databases instead of Azure SQL, right? And we have created server and then followed by some username and password. And if you want to view the data, right, so we have used Microsoft SQL Server. So instead of that, what we can call as an SSMS, nothing but SQL Server Management Studio. We have used some tool basically, right, in order to view the data. And even last class also we have discussed about some queries, some SQL queries. So means already we're having some data which is present. It can be some database. Within database we're having n number of tables, and each and every table is having some rows and columns as well, right? This information you know already basically. So now on top of that data, let us assume in a table we're having maybe some 10,000 records. So in this 10,000 records, it may have some n number of columns as well, right? But based upon your requirement, you can retrieve the data, right? Or you can view the data based upon your requirement. Okay, let us assume maybe if you want to get only distant, right? So only distant country values, right? Because 10,000 rows means each and every row, there is no chance of having a unique country value, right? Definitely there is a n number of chances that each and every row having a different country values which are not a unique. Means simply you can say that duplicate country values. If you want it to as a distinct, or if you don't want to get some duplicate records, you can go with a distant command, right? So like that we discussed n number of different types of queries followed by some predefined functions like a distinct, right, like count. These are the predefined functions. But if you want to apply some conditions like where and are, right, so these things also we discussed as well. So now what we're going to do is, so just we will try to create some resource group and followed by some SQL databases. The same thing we are able to access in the SSMS as well. And here the thing is, we have created till now only one database, right? In a if you view the respective databases in SSMS, till now we have created only one database. But now we are trying to create a one more database, and let us assume I have some n number of users. Only specific user can able to access only some databases, right? So there is no chance of having, let us assume I have some 10 databases, okay, in maybe in SSMS. But out of these 10 databases I don't want to, let us assume I have some 10 developers. These 10 developers no need to view the all these 10 databases. Maybe some first user need to access only some, maybe some fourth database, right? Like second user, maybe they can access only 10th database. So like that I want to give some permissions. Means if a specific user has given some permission, that specific user will get only that specific database only, irrespective of other database. Even though we're having some 10 databases, that specific user can view only second or third database, like that, whatever the database which I mentioned, which is going to mention basically. So these things, just today we're going to go with some practical scenario. So then we'll discuss a small concept called as an bastion. Okay, so as you know already, so just try to go to portal.azure.com, provide your login credentials. So just I'm trying to create one resource group. Azure test, maybe East US or West US, anything. I'm going with East US only. Next tags, next review and create. Finally click on create, right? So then if you observe in our last class, we are trying to create some SQL databases, right? So go to this Azure Cloud Search and type SQL databases. Click on create. So select your resource group name, Azure test. Enter your database name. It should be unique, right? So maybe some DSF DB1 because I already deleted this data. This is this respective database. So that is reason it is allowing. But if you are not deleted in your previous class or in your previous session, it will not allow. Okay, database names always it should be unique. Okay, so here we don't have server, so just try to create a new server. Maybe you can use some server name. Okay, dsf server 1, location is US. So it is validating, right? So it is done. So admin login, maybe some dsf login 1, right? And that of 123. Click on okay. So this one no. So last as we discussed, they have added so many new features. So nothing we need to change. So basically here it is basic. We need to choose. Click on apply. Right. So this one we have taken as a local. Next networking, public endpoint. So SS. So next security, right? Next HTML settings. So here you need to choose some sample, right? Basically. So next tags. So next review and create. Finally click on create, right? Creating it will take some time basically. It will take some time. Okay. So meanwhile, as you know already, I will try to open this as a service. Okay, so it is created, right? So go to SQL databases. So go to here. So this is our server name, and what is the username password we have given? I think DSF login one and the respective password, right? So hopefully we have created the same thing. I think we have given DSF login one. Yes, I think DSF login one only. So provide the password. Click on connect. So previously we don't have this firewall authentication. Okay, so now we are there cross checking these all these things as I mentioned in your last class. Right now you can go to this databases. So this is DSFDB1, right? So yesterday and last class we have discussed about some queries and as well as some. I mean here also if you go to these tables, we discussed about some information, right? What are the data which is already present in these respective tables? It's taking too much time. So just select this one. What happened? Select all. Okay, so these things we discussed already. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a one more database. Okay, so here if you observe we have created DSFDB1, right? So like that I want to create DSFDB2. So we already having some resource group. So database name maybe some DSF DB, sorry, DB1. See here, a database name with same name already exists on this server, right? So this is authentication. So uh, here always this whatever the database name which you want to provide, it should be unique. Okay, so maybe here you need to provide some db. Okay, so here you need to choose the basic and click on apply locally. Next, networking, click on S. So next, security, right? Next, additional settings. Next, tags. See here you need to choose sample. Next, tags. Next, you can create. Finally, click on create. So here nothing, just we are creating a one more database on the same server, right? We already have a server. So DSF server one, we already have a server. So as I mentioned you, on single database server, right, we can create a multiple database, and each and every database, it may have multiple tables as well. So already we have seen in DSF DB1, right? So like that, I have created some DSF DB2. So DSF DB2 also I'm using the sample data. So it is also having a tables, respective tables as well, basically. Okay, so it is created. Now if you go to home, just click on refresh. Click on refresh. Sorry, within the same server we have created, right? This is the server name. On a single server, we have created two databases, basically. So here, just refresh it here. Disconnect. Login failed. So what is the server name? Same server, right? DSF login one. So here now if you're having two databases, DSF DB1 and DSF DB2. Okay, so as I mentioned you, maybe let us assume we're having some A user. So A user need to access only DSF DB2. So it should he should not access maybe some DSF DB1, right? So how can you provide that respect to permissions for a particular databases? So now for this, go to security, right, and go to logins. So currently, if you observe, we're having some DSF login one, right? So right click, new login. So here I'm creating some DSF login two. Okay, DSF login two with the password is the same as DSF login one. So this one it is a string, right? We need to give it in a double quotes like this, or it is not allowing single quotes. Okay, fine. It is allowing. So just click on execute here. Okay, commands completed successfully. Completion time. Okay. So now after that, just we have created a one more user, right? So just refresh. See here, DSF login one and DSF login two. So now go to this particular DSF DB2. Go to security. Go to users. Right click new user. Okay, create user. So here I'm giving some DSF DB2. Okay, for login. What is the login here which you have created? DSF login 2, right? I mean, what we are saying is, so this database can be able to access only DSF login 2. Okay, so which is the default schema as DSF DB2. DSF DB2. Okay, so here also we need to provide copy this one, click on execute, right? So here if you observe, right, we are mentioning the this database name, and for this database who can be I mean here currently we're having two logins, DSF login 1, DSF login 2. So here we're specifying only DSF login 2, means DSF login 2 is a particular user in which he can access only DSF DB2, means he was unable to access DSF DB1. Okay, so that thing we can cross check it here. Now we can disconnect all the databases. Click on connect. Server type database engine, server name. On single server we have created two databases, right? Now DSF login to provide the password, right? Click on connect. See here, it is having only DSF DB2. I mean, this DSF login 2 is able to access only DSF DB2. He was not able to access DSF DB1. So, if you expand these databases, the same tables only we are having, because while creating this database DSF DB2 in Azure SQL, we have gone with the sample data only, right? Same data will be there, so nothing change in the data. I mean, whatever the tables in which are having in DSF DB1, same thing it is available in DSF DB2. Only difference is database names. So there we have given DSF DB1, here we have given DSF DB2, but both are in the same server, right? So any doubts till now, any of you? So you got some idea what we are doing?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes.
We can access to a number of database at a time, no? We need to give every time the login password and everything.
No, for this SSMS only we need to provide. Once if we provide a remember password, it will not ask. Okay.
Okay, okay. Can we merge the databases in one table?
Can
Like
we?
database DSF DB1, DSF DB2. We can merge it.
I mean, you want to create only on a single database?
Yes.
Yes, you can do that. So here you need to go with the backup option.
Okay.
Right click, you are going to get some backup option. It is not responding.
No, as you said, there is the same database in both the DFS.
Not database, same tables. Database names are always unique. Okay.
Tables in both the databases. We have to
Your
merge
voice
the tables
is
in database.
your voice is breaking.
No, actually, you said that in both databases we are having the same tables.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting my point?
Mm.
Yeah, we have to merge it in one database.
Why? Because it is a duplication of data only, right? Why you want to merge it?
So you want to
No,
Only one user.
here just our intention is whenever if you're having some multiple users, so within a single server, if you're having some 10 databases also, right?
Okay.
So no user. So let us assume if I am working on, let us assume in my company currently having some 10 to 15 applications is there. So definitely 10 to 15 applications we're having means at least we're having some 5 to 7 databases will be there, right? A single user will not work on 15 applications on all the databases. There is no chance of working, right? So maybe that
Okay.
particular user or a particular developer so need to access only one a single database irrespective of other database. So then the concept is can be implemented. You got my point now?
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
Any doubts? So, as you know already, we have created some SQL databases, right? In these SQL databases, we have created a single server that is nothing but a DSF server one. That is nothing but what we are calling as a SQL server, right? So here this is the DSF server one. On this, on top of this DSF server one, we're having two databases. One is DSF DB1 and one more thing is DSF DB2. These things you know already. So here let us assume here we're having a small concept that is nothing but a failure groups. What these failure groups basically? Okay, so if something is happened for this respect to whatever the database which are created either dsf db1 or dsf db2, right? So if maybe we have lost some data, let us assume I am working whenever I'm working on this uh, ssms SQL server management studio. So something is happened, unfortunately I have deleted this data or I have deleted this respective database, right? So something is happened. So in order to overcome that, I mean, what I mean to say is, let us assume I have one database or one database which is having some 10,000 tables or maybe some 1 crore records, right? So at some point of time maybe some operation I have done in my local system. So this is my local only, but the data which this data we have taken from SQL databases, that is in Azure SQL, right? So if something is happened, I have deleted something, so some rows is deleted unfortunately. So not 1 crore rows is deleted or maybe some 10,000 rows is there. These all 10,000 rows are not deleted. Maybe some 2,000 rows are deleted. Let us assume, right? So instead of searching, so which row is deleted, so just you can take a the copy once again. Means, so if and only if you are maintaining some duplication of the copy or copy of the same data is already exist, you can use the same data once again, so that whatever the rows in which you already missed, you are going to get it. That is a one way basically. Okay, another way is whatever the data which is already available. So here this is the data, right? So this one you can take the backup in local system itself. Somewhere you're going to find natural construct. Mm, actually, I also forgot it. We can take some backup. Actually, I worked on this one, this SQL Server Management Studio 2 years back. However, task considered backup. Tasks only I have gone. Tasks. Here we don't have backup option. Expand the database. Right click the database. However, task considered backup, but we are not finding backup option. Microsoft SQL Server Databases engine, not just for and expand this server tree. Expand databases and either select user database or expand system. Right click on the database, point to task and select the backup. Import, don't have backup option. DSF login. Okay, so you can take some local backup as well from this respect to SQL Server Management Studio. I will check it. Okay, I will let you know. But because this option is not available here, maybe this was the latest version. Let me check it. Okay, but here within this SQL, I mean, within this Azure SQL itself, if you want to take some database backup, so failover option is the best option. We have an option called as in failover groups. Okay, see here, failover group or a SQL Server feature designed automatically manage replication. So replication means duplication of data or copy of the same data. Okay, connectivity and failover of a set of databases. If some database is failed, okay, if something is happened, maybe let us assume currently I was in east us, right? Nothing but east us is having some particular data center. If that data center is down, or maybe if something is not worth, right, or maybe some infrastructure failure, if something is happened, right, so immediately within some span of time I need to get the data from another data server or maybe some another region. So that option we can achieve by using failover group. Okay, so click on add group. So you can provide some failover name, nothing but DSF failover server, maybe some DSF west server, DSF west login. Okay, so location, previously we have created these SQL servers or these SQL databases on East US, right? So instead of East US, you can choose the different location. Okay, maybe some West US, I mean different region, what I mean to say. Okay, select, click on select, click on create, configure databases, DSF DB, DSF DB2, click on select, click on create. So failover group main intention is, so if something is happened or whatever the server, whatever the database which are created in particular region, if something is happening in that particular in that specific region. So in our example is yes, while creating, right? So it will create some copy of the data or duplication of data on a different region, whatever the region which you have selected while creating this failover group mechanism. Okay. Is not created. So previously what we have created, I think failover group we have created, right? It is not created. Yes, sir. already exists. Okay, so it is created here. Here, so now it is created in two regions or two locations basically. Okay, so DSF server 1 which we have created, that is a primary, right? So DSF west server, this is nothing but a secondary. If something is not responding, if something is happened for this particular server, so it is this server is going to be responded. Here within this server we are having some two databases, right? Same databases, it will exist in DSF west server as well. So just you can assume it as a copy of the same data or duplication of data in a multiple regions. Okay, so here grace period is nothing but a 1 hour. I mean basically this 1 hour also it doesn't require, maybe you can provide maybe some 10 minutes or 50 minutes of time. I mean within that specific amount of time, that if that respective server is not responding, right? I mean primary server is not responding immediately, the coming request will go to the DSF west server. Okay, this grace period 1 hour is too much high basically. Okay, if 1 hour a particular server is not responding, right, we are I mean if it is a application which is accessed by n number of customers or visitors for a particular region, right, within that 1 hour of time, so they will lose so much of business basically, right? So that is this grace period, we need to provide as much as the less time, maybe some 5 minutes or 10 minutes like that. Okay, so any doubts in this failure groups? Fine, this one. Any doubts?
Oh, Shiva.
So you understood the concept of failure group, right? Basically.
Yes.
So you can use any of these servers, either DSF. If you observe DSF DB1 and DSF DB2, they are created on a single server, DSF server one. So you know how to connect these databases. What are the databases which are created on the single server by using SSMS, right? So even SSMS also, so we can take this particular database as a backup. Means what are the backup which you are taking from SSMS, so we can store in your respective physical laptop. Okay, so that thing also we can take it basically. This is a local backup basically. Okay, but this is a cloud backup. We have taken the cloud in server point we have taken the complete server as a backup. Okay, so that is possible by using failover groups. So here we're having a small concept. Uh, Before that, so here if you observe, if you go to this is DSF server 1 is a server name which we are using for DSF DB1 and DSF DB2, right? So now this data, right, if you want to let us assume you have developed some web application, okay, from web application to, if you want to connect this respect to database, right, we required some drivers or some connection, we require some connection activities basically. So if you're going with some JDBC, it is related to Java, means we need to use this string. So here it is providing some database name as dsf db1 user dsf login one at data dsf server one, right, password, means these things we need to provide in your respect to Java application, whatever the application which you are developing. I mean, based upon your framework. So if I'm going with Java, we need to go with the JDBC. If you're going with some .NET framework, you can go with ADO.NET, ODBC, Oracle's includes Node.js. So Node.js, if you're developing some Node.js related application, you can go with ODBC. PHP, if it is a PHP, we need to copy this specific code in your web application, so that whenever if you are creating something, or if you're using your web application, it will authenticate this respect to database here. If you're going with the Go is a one type of programming language from Google, right? If you're going with some Go programming languages, or if you're developing some application by using Go programming, right, we can go, we need to copy paste this respect to specific code, so that respective web application will authenticate this respect to server and this respect to database. Okay, so just if you want to connect some database which we've created in Azure SQL, right, we required some piece of code. That piece of code is already available in this respect to options called as a connection string of that respect to database. Here our database name is dsf db1 basically. Okay, so based upon your framework, whatever the framework or whatever the programming which you are chosen to develop some application, so based upon that you can go with this respect to things here. If it is a .NET, ADO.NET, if it is Java, JDBC, if it is a Node.js related applications, ODBC, PHP, Go programming, anything, whatever thing which are chosen basically. Okay. So we're having a concept called as a bastions. So first of all, what is bastion or bastion is nothing but if you are creating some virtual machine, right? I mean, let us assume you have created some Linux machine, right? So how can we access this respect to Linux machine? Basically, two ways: by using some password mechanism, and as well as by using some SSH key. So means we need to generate some SSH key by using some putty generator. So by using that respect to key, even we can authenticate the respect to Linux machines. That thing is also possible. So there are two ways we can authenticate this respect to Linux machine. One way is, as you know already, by username password, and one more thing is SSH public key. These are the two ways basically. Okay. So first of all, here what I'm going to do is, so let me create some virtual machine by using some predefined commands. Okay, so let me log into shell.azure.com. So these commands we discussed already. These are the predefined commands which we are having. So these commands we discussed already. Okay, so if you want to create some virtual machine by using bash shell, these are the set of predefined commands, right? So the same commands just I'm trying to execute. So first let me create some resource group. So let me delete this all these things. So in order to implement this batch 10 concept, right, first of all, we require some virtual machine, right? So basically here, I'm trying to create some virtual machine by using this shell.azure.com by using some predefined command. So even you can create by using graphical user interface as well. So, but just by using command base, by using this predefined shell commands, I'm just trying to create some virtual machine. Okay. So first of all, require some storage. So create storage. So that version doesn't required. So this complete commands we need to change it. If you are changing some resource group, we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. It will delete. So it is deleted, right? So first try to execute this command. one more subnet it doesn't require, right? Okay, so I'm not explaining, these things are discussed, but still if you require something let me know. Okay. So it is creating Linux machine. Still it is creating. Okay, so generally, if you want to access Linux machine, as I mentioned, you what are the mechanisms? Basically, by using password or by using SSH mechanisms. But if you want to, I mean, either it is a password or SSH mechanisms, so definitely we require some putty tool. So if you want to access some Linux machines, so we require another software called as a putty. So as you know already, so within the putty, by using either you're able to access this Linux machine by using either passwords or by using some SSH mechanisms, basically, right? But by using this Bastion, okay. So you can access Windows or Linux virtual machines without using any tool. Okay, so till now, if you observe, whether if you want to access Windows virtual machine or Linux machines, we require some another tool called as an either RDP or if it is a putty for Linux machines, basically. So, but by using this Bastion concept, you doesn't require any tools if you want to authenticate or if you want to utilize this any type of these virtual machines by using this Bastion concept. Okay, so that is go to operations and click on this best. Okay, so they're giving some steps if you want to implement this respect to concept. And in step 2, if you observe, create the bash and subnet. Okay, click on create subnet button. Will create a subnet with named as an Azure Bastion subnet. Means we need to have a subnet with the name as a here. This name is a predefined one. Okay, so generally we're creating some Azure test type and subnet or Azure test type and subnet or something, some different names we're providing. But if you want to implement this Bastion concept, compulsory the subnet name itself Azure Bastion subnet. Okay, we need to create a subnet with Azure Bastion subnet here. Okay, so go to virtual networks. Click on this virtual network. Go to subnets. Click on subnet. Azure Bastion subnet. Azure Bastion subnet. Choose a address space. Here 10.15.2.0. Here instead of 0 I'm giving 2 slash 24 is 24. Click on save. So if you want, you can provide this network security group as well. Okay, so successfully created. Create subnet. Click on create Azure Bastion. So it will take some time. Okay, so it is created. Provide the username password. So that is Shiva1. So here already I have given some username and password, right? This is the same thing which we need to provide here. Click on connect. See here, it will open in a new window. Click on connect. Pop-up block. Unblock this yellow. Done. Click on connect. So now if you observe here, irrespective of tool, right? Whether it is a putty or RDP, right? So it is connecting in a separate window. I mean here it is an internet. I mean I think it is Edge, right? Yes, it is Microsoft Edge. So it is opening a new tab in the Microsoft Edge itself. I mean, it is also a browser, right? Simply, it is opening in a new tab. So here you can provide, you can move to a new what we call root user, right? Or if you want, you can install some what we call Nginx server. If the spelling is correct, yes. So this is IP address for that for the specific virtual machine. So actually it was structured here. So basically once if you installed this Nginx server, right, you are able to access it here. Okay. So what is the major intention of Bastion is, so you can access this either it is a Windows or Linux virtual machine without using any tool. Okay. So is the concept is fine, both of you? Any of you? Any doubts? And also here if you observe, because of the security reasons, right, so they are trying to create a subnet with the predefined name. We are not able to create our own subnet with some name. So Azure Bastion subnet. Okay, so without whatever the name which are given here, Azure Bastion subnet only, it is trying to, we are able to create I mean we are able to access, or where we are able to view this respective virtual machine in another tab or new tab. So if you are not getting that respective subnet with that respective name, we are unable to create, or we are unable to implement this Bastion concept. Okay, because of the security reasons only, they have given that respective predefined name. Even if you observe in the firewall concept as well, right, because of that respective security concerns, they have given that predefined firewall name. Without that name, we are unable to achieve that respective firewall concept in the Azure cloud. So same for Bastion as well. Okay, so any doubts, any of you? Jagdish, Ramesh, Narasimha,
No,
you got some idea, right? Bastion
yes, sir.
concept. Yes.
Yes, Shiva.